Rise and shine, mothers and brothers and cheese wedges and handlebars all over the world. How are you? Good morning. You're riding to work with me today. I'm feeling good, had a great night's sleep. One of the best ways to get a great night's sleep is to turn off the TV the night before. Just turn the damn thing off. Read. Watch what you want to watch on Netflix, whatever your little favorite movie or show portal is. Watch what you want to watch and then turn it off. None of this free-floating, turning on the TV after dinner and then watching it till you go to bed at night nonsense. It's no good for you. And you're filling your mind with nonsense from the 24-hour news cycle with everyone screaming at each other. Sanity does not prevail, at least in your own head, when you have all those voices going off in your head. Take care of your mental health by taking care of what you put inside your head through television, through the web, through handheld devices. Beginning of another work week for me. I'm excited about it. I love what I do. I'm one of those fortunate people that just really loves... You know, it's interesting. Second career people tend to love what they do the second time around. It's one of the things I've noticed, is that when you've done something for many years before and then you choose something else, the second thing usually brings more satisfaction. Set a goal, work on it little by little, that's what I did, and go for it, and take a leap. And there's going to be people in your life that say, well, what if you don't fly? And your response should be, well, what if I do? It's like we talk about the people that like our beards. You could have 100 people go, nice beard, badass beard, brother, love your beard. Man, I wish my beard was like yours. You can hear that all day long. Then the one person's going to say, I think that beard makes you look older. Or you don't look clean with it. Or one person will comment on your beard and it will throw you off. But you just heard 100 great things. I think we're wired that way. And you have to train yourself. You have to rewire yourself. Rewire your neurons in your head to ignore the BS. The BS, number one, is going to come from those closest to you, whether it be family or close friends. That's the reality. Because they carry the most weight and gravitas. If someone that you don't know criticizes something about you, you don't take it as deeply as if someone close to you does it. Because you think they know more about you and they have the right to be critical, even if it's quote-unquote constructive criticism. But it's still criticism. I would say ask for constructive criticism. Be open to it. Don't just make yourself a garbage pail and let people throw their garbage, their verbal and mental garbage, in your brain. You are not someone's garbage can. Does that make sense? All right, so if you're doing something that you don't like, what is the first step you can take to move in the direction of doing something that you want to do? Do you want to make more money? Do you want to work with people? Do you want to not work with people? Do you want to... Is what would make you happy or content or satisfied or more productive? Would it be living in the woods? Would it be living near an ocean? Is it a suburban area? Is it in the middle of a city? What do you want to do? Identify that thing. Until you can identify exactly and visualize exactly what you want to do, you're not going to do it. I'm still in the process. This old boy is not ready to lay down yet. I'm on my second career. I love it. And I'm transforming it. I'm defining it the way that I want. I know some people, it's the tale of two hairstylists, the tale of two barbers, the tale of two estheticians, the tale of two fill in the blank, okay? One just goes down a boring road, goes to work every day, punches a clock. another reinvents and redefines their industry. Not only with their tools, they might invent new tools. They might invent ways of doing things, more efficient, more effective ways of doing something. They might fly some test balloons, some crazy new hairstyles, and see if it takes off. Think about what you can do in your industry that can reinvent or re-engineer things. Focus on yourself. As Grant Cardone says, if you're not happy and making money, people say, well, money can't buy happiness. Well, neither can being broke. And I'd rather err on the side of making money. So do that rather than err on the side of, well, the love of money is the root of all evil and all that. Don't do that to yourself. Everybody's given an acre. Let me just put it this way. How can I, when I think of a picture story, it would be like this. Everybody is given 1 acre of ground. If you do nothing to that acre, what happens to it? Weeds will pop up. And it's just kind of whatever the wind blows onto that soil. And then you just take your chances. You roll the dice and see what comes up. Usually it's weeds and invasive stuff and stuff that's not usable. But if you take care of that acre, you could live on that acre. You could produce vegetables and fruit and crops out of that acre. You can build a business on that acre. You can make it beautiful. You can make it an oasis, a place that you escape to. Or it can be a barren desert. It can be a place with invasive weeds that do nothing but confuse you. That's what your brain is like. That's what your career is like. I know people that have settled, in the hair industry, I know people that have settled into $12 haircuts. Well, that's all I can get. Raise your prices. Raise your prices. When you raise your prices, you'll raise your service. Raise your service, raise your prices. People will give it to you. The more you raise your service, the bigger tips you're going to get if you're in the service industry. I know I've worked several service jobs in my lifetime, and I noticed that when I went above and beyond what I was required to do, that I made more money. When I counted the wad of cash in my pocket at the end of the day, when I was working a service job that got tips, I found that when I went above and beyond, and happily so, that I always had more money than my peers. There was a short time that I drove a limo, and I was giving people rides to the airport. And I did things like this. I took their suitcase and I put it in the trunk. I opened the door for them. I closed the door behind them. I didn't go quietly, or I didn't put on music that I wanted to listen to. I would say to the person in the back seat, person would be in the back seat, and I would look in the rear view mirror or turn around and I would say, is there any music that you prefer, or would you rather have it silent or quiet on your ride to the airport? People would say, I like rock and roll. Then I'd find a rock and roll station. I like country music, put on country. I like classical, you put on classical. It was very client-centered. I always had a little cooler, a mini cooler with some ice and freeze packs in it, and I had bottled water. And I'd always offer them a bottle of cold water. I had in the cup holders, I'd put a Snapple bottle, because the Snapple bottles have the wide mouth at the top of the bottle. Fill it up with water, and I always stopped. There was a few fields that I would have to pass on the way to the place where I would pick up the limo, and I'd pick some flowers, wild flowers, and put them in the vase. So people had a pretty environment. They weren't fragrant or pollen heavy flowers, that type of thing, but it was just something pretty. When I brought them to their destination, this is what I did. I would take the suitcase out I would put it up on the curb, pull up the handle, and turn the suitcase in the direction that they were going. If there was 2 suitcases, I stacked them, so all they had to do was grab the handle and go. That's all I had. I made it easy for them. A simple trip to the airport consistently would give a $20 tip. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're making 10 trips to the airport, and driving limo is like a waitressing job, where you get a very small hourly rate and then you depend on your tips. At the end of the night, the dispatcher would literally count out the tips and hand people cash at the end of the night. And I'll never forget being with a bunch of other limo drivers at the window where the dispatcher was counting out, and people would look at me as I consistently made more than them. It's because I offered more service. I was making the same hourly rate as them. I was given the same opportunity as them. I was driving the same exact vehicle as them. I wasn't better looking. I wasn't smarter. I didn't come from a different background than them. When you look at all the variables, everybody is given the same acre. What are you going to do with it? First thing you can do, one of the first things you can do is set goals. Do you have a planner? Are you a list maker? Do you have a calendar in front of you? I find that as we've gone electronic, I'm starting to put things electronically on my calendar and get reminders and so forth. But I find that when my hand is physically writing a time and a date, and I visually see it, let's say here we are at the end of June now, as we're approaching July, I look at July and I'm writing appointments down in my July calendar, literally physically writing them down with a pencil, not a pen, because pencils you can erase and you can modify things. So here's the deal. I visually look at my month, and that information, those goals, those things that I put down for the month are put into my head when I write it down. The neurons are firing. It's not so much when I'm swiping and tapping and that type of thing. I do both, but I also find, and people say, well, it's double the work. Yeah, but it's double the effectiveness. And I want to be doubly effective in everything that I do. So I have a goal for July, an earning goal when it comes to being a YouTube content creator. I want to start getting together with other content creators. I don't want to offer nonsense. I want to offer something that people want to go to. So here's the deal. There's all kinds of commodities or things of value, mass things of value. For me, time is a commodity. For me, peace is a commodity. As a guy who has high blood pressure and wants to bring it down naturally, putting myself in stressful situations is not good for my health. So for me, peace is a commodity. It's something that I want. So I want time, I want peace, and you don't get those things by accident. You don't just wake up and have all kinds of time, because there's a million things vying for your time. There's a million things vying for your peace. I've already had 3 or 4 people cut me off and honk horns and stuff like that on the way to work. And, already there's things that can throw you off. You put on the news, you hear about a bombing somewhere. That's the last, you don't want to you want to be aware, you want to be a smart citizen of your country, you want to keep yourself safe, you want to keep your family safe. But if you obsess, just make safety and security a lifestyle, but don't obsess over it. Just make it a part of everyday living. But if you're obsessing over every time you hear bad news in your country or internationally, it's going to make you physically ill. So here's the deal. What you do is think about the commodity, the valuable commodities in your life. Time, peace, earnings. What is the goal? I know what my long-term goal is. My long-term goal is to cut the hair of select clients at a premium price to offer them peace, because I like to say that time in my chair is like taking a little break from the outside world. I'm not a chatty hair professional. If you want to talk, you let me know that you want to talk, but most of the time it's going to be quiet by choice. And you're going to leave my chair feeling very, very relaxed. That's the goal. I don't want to dazzle you with my brilliance or baffle you with my bullshit. I want you to have peace and walk tall and feel good about yourself and achieve your goals. So put your long-term goal in front of you. I know my long-term goal is complete independence from 9 to 5. My short-term goal is to incrementally build that income to, number one, match what I'm making now on my job, my JOB, and then exceed it, and then go up from there. And then I have goals that are so high that if I told you, you would laugh at them. And I always say that if people don't laugh at your goals, and those goals aren't high enough, you need such doubters and such haters in your life. You want people laughing at you because they are thinking you're unrealistic. And there's nothing more worthy to pursue than a goal that's unrealistic in someone else's eyes. You can do it. I have faith in you. Honestly, here's the truth. I have more faith in you than probably you have in you. Because I know you can do it. And I know I can write down right now on a piece of paper the list of your excuses, because they're probably just like mine. Nobody is a bigger excuse maker than me. And I've learned to overcome those things and defeat them and just face them head on. So what are your goals? Are your goals independence? And I know for me, I want my income to be enough to support my family solely. I don't want my wife to be, whoever that is, to have to work. If she wants to work, that's great. That's wonderful. If she has her own career goals, that's wonderful. And things that she wants to pursue. The last thing I want to do is be with someone who moans and groans about going to their own grind, their own 9 to 5. You don't need two moaners and groaners in the same house. So my goal is to provide. I have a very strong provider thing going. It has bothered me for a long time when I'm unable to provide adequately for my family. That secretly eats up at me, just tears me up inside. And my goal is to freely give to my family when I'm able to. So you want to stay away from excuse makers, you want to stay away from time wasters. I had some friends in my life that at the end, other than just enjoying them, I like friends that I can just enjoy things with. I have friends that I go to a couple different bars and listen to live music, and we have similar tastes in music, and I enjoy spending time with them, male and female. And then I have some friends that just at the end of my time together with them, sometimes I would say, why did I even spend time with them? Those are time wasters. Nothing happens. Maybe something happens for them, but it certainly doesn't happen for me. And many years ago, I remember labeling people TW1, TW2, time waster 1, time waster 2. And I got to the point where at least I could identify the people that were wasting my time. And I'm not talking about not being a good friend. I enjoy being a good friend to people. But you have to be a good friend to yourself and provide for yourself, because no one else is going to do it. Let's get real about it. So you have your long-term goal, you have your short-term goal, you got rid of the excuse makers, you got rid of the time wasters in your life. Your big goals you keep quiet, because you'll get mocked and you'll get laughed at, which is a good sign. Rewire your neurons in your head. Rewire your way of thinking, your perception. This is what I want you to do. I want you to view people laughing at your goals as a pat on the back. When someone says you can't do it, I want you to hear, here it goes, all right, here it goes. They say you can't do it. What you hear is, attaboy, go for it. That's what I want you to do. They say you're being unrealistic. What you hear is, I dare you to succeed. So rewire yourself to think that way. There's nothing wrong with that. I love that one song. I just love that one line, we gotta get out of this place. That line speaks to me so much. We gotta get out of this place. You know the song I'm talking about. That speaks to me so much. What are you going to do to get out of your place? You got to keep yourself healthy. Go easy on substances that alter your mood and life and your thinking. Allow yourself to tire out naturally. Allow yourself to get energized naturally. Seek things that do that, rather than putting something in your body that wakes you up, pumps you up. Like my doctor, like I'm trending with high blood pressure, and she said to me, no energy drinks. I said, I don't do energy drinks. You'll never see me put an energy drink in my mouth. And I told her, I said, water is my energy drink. And I know if I'm feeling foggy or fuzzy or feeling headachy, a big fresh, cool glass of water, just gulping that down, within 15 minutes I feel great and I'm ready to go. If I'm feeling sluggish and tired, a big glass of water and I feel phenomenal. Most people are dehydrated, you know that, right? Most people walk around not having enough moisture and hydration in their bodies. Just always be drinking water. Whenever you pass a water fountain, take a sip of water. I grew up, like most people, not having water bottles all the time. Everybody's got water now. But yet, there's more people that are dehydrated than ever before. Why is that? And I think one of the reasons is there's a lot of salt in our diets, and that was probably that's the thing that's my Achilles heel that I have to eliminate. I never add salt to my food, ever. But when I eat processed food, that's where my sodium is coming from, and that's not a good thing. I love cheese. Cheese is very salty. I love pizza. Pizza is very salty. I love wings. I love all the crap that's bad for you. I mean, I love the stuff that's good for you, but there's times where I just want a dozen hot wings and a beer, as opposed to a salad and a glass of ice water with a lemon wedge in it, which is probably what I should have every day anyways. I don't eat chicken wings every day, but I mean, that's typical about what I'm talking about. How come we always end up craving the stuff that's bad for us? Our bodies crave shit, and that tells you about the addictive nature of shit. Not only physically, nutritionally, but mentally. We end up hanging out with people that are bad for us, listening to people that are no good for our goals. Get away from them. break away. It's better to be alone and feel a little bit lonely than to be amongst people that don't believe in you and don't support your goals. Got that? And you'll adjust to the solitude. Learn to be a lover of solitude. You can't always be a social animal. There's just something I know when I'm out feeding the animals, when I'm feeding the pets, when I'm having a pipe, when I am reading, when I don't have the TV on, when I'm listening to music that is meaningful to me, and I'm by myself, I am completely happy. I love going out to eat and then going to a movie by myself. It's like having a date with yourself. At the end of the day, with activities like that, I feel great. I come home and I sleep like a rock. All right, back to goals. Long term, the silent ones, the real long-term ones, the ultimate long-term. Also have accountability partners, people that are going to encourage you to pursue those goals. Who are they? Eliminate the mockers, eliminate the doubters, get rid of them. They need to go. Boom, gone, cut them off. That's it. Defriend them, delete their shit quick. You don't need that in your life. You don't need that in your life. Get rid of it. They're gone. Make them gone. They need to disappear. When it comes to social media, anyone that criticizes you, boom, gone. That's it. Gone. People mock you, boom, gone. You don't need that in your life. You don't need to bear that weight. What you need to do is people who are fans of you, people who are pushing you and not driving you away, but people that are pushing you towards your goal. All right, mothers, brothers, cheese wedges and handlebars, you have a phenomenal day. Go out there and get them. Think about your goals. Think about the first step that you can take for your goal or goals. And think about a line in a song. Does that one line, like, for instance, from that song that I mentioned, we got to get out of this place. There's something about that. Look that up. You're going to love it. That might end up being your theme song. Who knows? Have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching. More power to you, mothers and brothers. And I'll catch you again next time. See ya.